Hi guys, it's me again. I did a video about narcissism, which I haven't posted yet, but by the time you're listening to me here, I will have posted it. It's just become overwhelmingly clear to me what a massive topic narcissism is. In fact, that it may indeed be the be-all and end-all of the situation that we find ourselves in here. Because I've noticed over the years that all the videos on YouTube or Rumble or all these social media platforms, all the books, well, I can't say all the books because I haven't read them all, and I haven't read seen all the videos. That's a bit of a blanket statement that I didn't mean to make. Everything, in fact, that I myself have come across in terms of videos, or even in the movies, right, or TV series, because if you think about it, right, like things like EastEnders, this is a British soap opera. It's very behavioral, dark behavioral influence. It's full of narcissistic garbage. It's really, really bad. We are being had basically what we're given to believe narcissism is. And yeah, there are good people doing good videos about narcissism, covert, overt, and everything in between. Or the fact that we all have perhaps some traits. I know I do. I mean, like, yeah, we're not perfect. None of us are. But here's the thing. We live in a system, a kind of panopticon, a system, the matrix, that is a narcissist. It is one complete, entire, bloated narcissist. It is. And it does not want to be seen. It does not want to be identified. Because the minute you identify this beast, this evil, for what it is, it's sort of game over, I feel, maybe. Evil, I have known this for some time. Evil does not want to be seen. And evil cannot see itself. It is blind to itself, to its own inherent nature. I've seen this over and over again, that evil needs to justify its existence. The system needs to justify its existence. It's like, say, I don't know, the so-called justice system, call it the injustice system, it needs to exist because people are bad and commit crime. But really what it's saying, the beast system, is telling us that we're all fucking criminals, we're all scum, we're all criminals, and we're all bad. When you've dealt with a narcissist and you have identified that individual as a narcissist or with strong narcissistic traits, and you've eliminated this person from your life, as indeed you need to, there's always a fallout, always, every fucking time, because like I said in my last video, it's like witchcraft, dark magic. It makes you feel like you're the narcissist. You are. Because look at you over there, you think you're smart. And I'm there thinking, yeah, I do think I'm smart. I do notice people. I hear people, I pay attention. Oh, sorry for the terminology, but a lot of people do not seem to be very bright. I think they're not actually stupid at all. I think trauma is what makes people seem stupid. That is what I think. Because I know that the more I've cleared out the mind control, the more I've developed what I call my spirit eyes, the smarter I've gotten. because it's clearing away all the filth, and you recover your natural smarts. True smart is highly intuitive, right? So, okay. So I feel good about that part of myself. I feel that I am smart. And I think there's a lot of other soul beings out there who may appear as dumb, but they literally just trauma dulled. They're blocked by trauma, so they aren't stupid at all. All right? So it's not that I feel I am smart, they're stupid, oh ha ha. No. But you go online and listen to a shitload of different videos about narcissism, they will tell you about grandiosity. In other words, what they're hinting at, how the system, the dark influence, is orchestrating and maneuvering and gaslighting things, is to say that if you feel good about yourself, you're a narcissist. If you feel envious of someone else, you're narcissistic. If you're a bit of a grifter and a bit of a ducker and a bit of a diver, if you do a bit of shoplifting, say for example, call it, I don't know, urban hunting and gathering, right? You're a narcissist. You should never ever feel any kind of envy, even though we live in a blatantly, disgustingly unfair, sick society in which some have lots and a shitload of others have barely anything at all, and increasingly people are unable to feed themselves, to feed their kids. People are becoming increasingly, that there's more and more homelessness, there's all kinds of shit going on. So, and then you come across these people that claim to be all spiritual and this and that, and live in a great big house and have a lot of money, that do absolutely fuck all and don't even bother to be awake and aware to this massive, evil, choreographed discrepancy. It doesn't bother them, seemingly. They are cognitively empathic, but not in any other way at all, really. They give some money to charity, and I've done my bit, yeah, that sort of thing. There is a complete, the whole narcissism arena is a bit of a gaslighty psyop, and I think it's designed to make good souled people feel like they are narcissists because they feel envy, which you will feel when you've had the shit kicked out of you your whole life, and then you come across these people that have had it quite easy and living, as it were, the life of Riley. That's gonna hurt, man, right? It's not that you begrudge them exactly, it's just that you want to be all right too, but you've had the shit kicked out of you. You've been heavily traumatized by blatant narcissists, real narcissists, people that for whatever reason were so infected with evil, so under the influence of evil, of this black hand operating in via the system, that it did a fucking number on you. Behaviorally speaking, you may well adopt some of those nuances, and until you discover, whoa, yeah, as I have done over the years, so that you can stop, so that you can change, so that you can transmute and heal. It's always been this way when I've identified a narcissist. The fallout period afterwards is always the same. Oh, you're the narcissist, you're the narcissist. And I know I'm not, because I have a shitload of real empathy, not just cognitive empathy, but real felt compassionate empathy, especially for animals and nature. I am not keen on people, it's true, because a lot of people I find are not very nice. I feel that a lot of people, especially now, suffer from compassion fatigue. It's like my friend's car, there is a connection, like a wiring issue with something, and it requires a small, relatively cheap part to fix, and he cannot get hold of this part anywhere at all, and he had to go to Vosper, which is an outlet here in England, it's corporate, to try and get hold of this thing, because his MOT for the car is due, right? And it may not pass if he doesn't have this fixed. Now, that part normally would come to maybe about 20-30 quid, but because it's not available anywhere, this company thinks it's perfectly okay to charge 450 quid for it. Now, that is narcissism. The word narcissist is all wrong anyway. It really ought to be called something else, and I'm not really sure what to call it. It just is the black hand, the dark generator, the beast system, as it works its way through society, through individuals, through every bureaucracy. Or every nuance of this system needs to justify its existence. Oh, we need an army because there's war, when they create the war. So actually, when they stop creating the wars, there is no need for an army. Right? If people have all their needs met and live in communities where we all work together, creating what we need, having the technology to do this easily and simply, having the technology to heal our bodies, to heal our communities, to heal nature, living in communities of, self-sustaining, thriving, flowing happiness and well-being and goodness, there won't be any crime. Nobody would commit crime. Why would you need to? You wouldn't need to. Crime exists, again, because it's choreographed. I mean, it's all fucking choreographed, and all these YouTube videos talking about narcissism are really, really, really there, gatekeeping, to mislead us and to gaslight us and to make us doubt ourselves. Oh, maybe I'm a narcissist, maybe I'm a narcissist because I've been abused, I am being abused, we are all being abused every fucking day. We are being tortured and tormented covertly, overtly, covertly, overtly, and it has created a shitload of trauma. Very traumatized people are not going to behave in a beautiful, flowing, happy, healthy way. Why would we be... See, it fucks with us. It tells us that we have polluted everything. Climate change is our fault. Plastic, it's your fault. Look at all the stuff you're putting in the bin. It's your fault. No, it isn't. Have you ever noticed that? That perpetual sense of guilt tripping, blame casting. It's witchcraft. It's all your fault. Everything is your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. They do it and then project all their evil, demonic garbage onto us. That is what it is. That is what evil does. It's not me. I have a right to exist, says evil. And I will justify my existence in every way that I can. It was like at the beginning of the PSYOP, and that Irish guy with this weird name, and all kinds of shit went down, and it was like, well, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and he's a psychopath. He's a liar. He knew we weren't. He knew that. It's like the panel of men that worked for the tobacco industry, each and every one saying, no, nicotine is not addictive, it's not addictive, and cigarettes are good for you, they're good for you. And they know very well that is not the fucking case, but they lie. They have no problem doing that. I've been known to tell fibs. I've been known to be dishonest. I've been known to do things that, strictly speaking, are not correct. I've been known to do things that hurt other people or animals because I've been really fucked up in it, especially the early years of my life. So bludgeoned that, wow, you're not able to function at all, right? But I worked at it and corrected it and still work at it and still correct it. But it was all choreographed, it was put in there and it was put into you. They did it to us, they do it to us on a daily fucking basis in every imaginable fucking way, and then they tell us that it's our fault because it's our fault that there are landfills filled with plastic and filled with all kinds of horrible, forever chemically laced frying pans and fuck knows, but it's all our fault, yeah? You know, this whole climate change thing, this whole whatever it is, wherever it is, it's always the same. It's always our fault, it's our fault, it's our fault. It's all our fault because we are the narcissists, because we are evil. It's us. And honestly, because I've been going through quite a lot of these videos on YouTube that purport to talk about narcissism, and it's often like, oh, 13 signs to show you're dealing with this, 6 signs to show you're dealing with that, and a lot of them are very robotic, and it's like, I'm like, no, it's because covert narcissism can be so incredibly subtle, and let's face it, guys, it is a spectrum. So you may not be dealing with a person who is completely narcissistic, but they are narcissistic enough for you to think, oh, I'm calling it a day. This person has really insulted me and really hurt my feelings, and I'm calling it a day. I'm not going to keep somebody in my life that has this level of ability to fucking hurt me. That's not going to happen, right? Bad news. The covert narcissism can present in the most subtle way, and you will not for the longest time know that you're dealing with a fucking narcissist, and that is the fucking truth. You can listen to a million YouTube videos talking about how to spot a covert narcissist. You're not going to be helped by it to any great degree, and then you're still going to be dealing with these fuckers, because believe me, I was this woman, there was one video of a woman, oh, it's only 1% of the population, and I'm like, whoa, what a blatant lie. This world is a narcissist. This system is a narcissist. It's evil. That is what it is. And when you use the word narcissism, it's like a covert thing, because you're putting something in front of it, saying this is what it is, and no, it isn't. Evil is not a young man who fell in love with his own image, looking at his image in a lake. That is not what it is. Not really. That's not what evil is. It's a facade. That word, narcissism, narcissist, that's a facade in and of itself. That's a lie. Evil, I have come across evil in the forms that I've come across it, that I see it, that I witness it. It is directly opposed to that which is good and pure and true, that which is loving. That which is loving. Oh wow, there's this beautiful white feather is just twirling. Beautiful. Wow. It hates that which is alive. It hates that which is of love, life-giving. It hates that. It's a sickness. It hurts. It harms, it destroys, it annihilates, it gaslights, it manipulates, it wants to hurt that which is good and pure and true. Why? It's envy, a bitter, hate-filled envy, because it knows it's not good. It knows it's all wrong. It knows it. Evil knows it. Deep down, every narcissist, every dark soul, whatever infected personage knows they ain't no good. That what they're doing is wrong. They know it. I do believe they do. because we've all got a conscience, and yeah, I know people say narcissists don't have a conscience. Soulless ones, no, they don't, but souled narcs, I believe, do. I saw it in my mother. I don't honestly think it is entirely their fault. I think they are under the influence, and I think somehow in reading, say, about demonic possession, it seems that there is a moment in their life, in childhood usually, where they have capitulated themselves to the forces of evil for one reason or another, but it's always to do with trauma. There are good books. There is a good book by Scott Peck, Glimpses of the Devil. You need to read it with a grain of salt, and you need to read between the lines, but there is some really good stuff in there that you can correlate with your own knowings and awarenesses and whatnot, yeah? Because what we're dealing with, it isn't, narcissism is completely the wrong word. Just call it what it is. It's evil and it's demonic. And when I say demonic, that's not really, that's just a word to indicate the presence of evil, but who and what and where and why and when, all these are relevant questions. We don't know exactly, do we? That is a problem as well. All helping and serving the machinations of evil and how it choreographs everything. So if you're desperately trying to come to terms with narcissistic abuse, with the abuse and the torture and the torment of evil, first of all, you need to realize that there is the presentation in your own personal life, as in the micro levels, and that is basically already really, really bad. The way you were treated in school, the way you were treated by your parents, the way you subsequently were treated at your job, because you're going to be surrounded by it, because it's all system, isn't it? And the system has become more and more and more diabolical and nasty. Like, the last time I went to the dentist, they're set there, and there's all these little packages with a little toothbrush and a little small tube of toothpaste, and I'm like, what's that about then? Oh, it's because people are so poor they can't afford to buy a toothbrush for their child. I'm like, that's narcissistic, because that means you don't really give a shit, because there's way more than that going on. If they can't afford a toothbrush for their child, they are most likely not going to be able to afford food for their child. They certainly won't be able to afford to take their child to a fucking dentist to avoid tooth decay in the fucking first place, because all dentists in this country, all NHS, as in free dentists, are gone. There's only private dentists now, and they cost a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, like, literally fucking, like, whoa, seriously fucking insane. Just like veterinary surgeons, for example, right? Which, when you stop to think about the cost of living crisis, and then people with no money to buy their child a toothbrush, do you think they're going to have pets? If they have pets, what do you think is going to happen to them? You know? These animals are going to end up in shelters. They can't afford to feed them. The fallout, what we are living in now, is massive. And all that is narcissistic. That's what it is. That's narcissism. That's evil. It's evil. And it's choreographed, and it's done on purpose. I felt like saying something to the receptionist, but I thought it was pointless, because they're not going to get it, they're not going to hear it. They think they're doing something good and they're doing something nice. And the receptionist there is actually, she's lovely. She's not at all awake. She's a nice person. But that's it. Every day, people are wondering whether they're gonna, how are we gonna survive? How are we gonna survive? And honestly, I mean, I've got to wonder, families, how are they managing? we are all in situations of pecuniary difficulty, and that is putting it mildly. The greed, the callousness, the cruelty, and all the people that I see walking down the road looking like they've been crushed, bludgeoned, and they have been, and they can't take anymore, and they're not awake, so they're labouring under the constant guilt tripping. You're bad, you deserve this, right? Narcissism is just a facade word, a misleading terminology for what it really is, and that is fucking evil. Evil manifests in all these different ways, in all these different places, does all these different horrible things to all these different people. And it's the biggest thing it's got going is projection. Any narcissist cannot own this shit that it's your fault. Scapegoating is the name of the game, my fucking god. But big time. Scapegoating. Big time. I think I'm going to be talking more about this because it's all becoming more and more clear to me how we've been had the hideous ugliness of the world now, the fucking barbed wire fences everywhere. Keep out! The way that these NPCs, and I know when it's an NPC driving, right, because you're there in a country lane and they come racing up. Hey, I can just a minute. Oh, okay, you okay? Oh dear. He's just been out of sorts, my poor little boy, because everything energetically, everything is off in a massive way, which means there is a revealing going on, a clearing, a cleansing, a revealing. And yeah, this is it, guys. This is the problem, where it's like, oh, this means evil's won. But I don't think this is a sickening. I think it's a healing. It's showing us the truth. It's showing us the fucking truth. It's a healing covenant. It's a healing covenant. But it's terrifying, the times that we live in. I know that. I feel that. It's terrifying. And it's just a pack of fucking lies, and it's just maddening. It's crazy making. Just a minute. What are you doing? Hey? It's crazy making, it's witchcraft, it's gaslighting, and it's meant to make you doubt yourself, to question yourself, to second guess yourself, to blame yourself, to attack yourself, to hate yourself, to keep you in your slavery position. That is what it's all about. That's it. We are slaves here, by the way, guys. Yeah, we are. We just never knew. Because when you don't know what is the true nature of reality, and you think, well, this is just the way it works, and you've never questioned anything, and then you wake up and you start to realise, whoa, what the fuck? It's a kicker, man. It's really hard for people to wake up now because they're having to do it at an accelerated level, I reckon. It's coming in hard and fast because the nature of this realm now is so obviously revealing itself to be one hell of an evil, sick motherfucker. It's bad. It's so horrific. Right? People are so... It's like my friend went to that place, Phosphorus, and he was told by this clerk that it was 450 quid for a part that used to cost about 20 quid. And the guy told him that with a bland, blank face. I mean, he might have been an NPC, you know, as in tumbleweeds, you get that. But it can also mean that, you know, people are apathetic, man. They've just had the shit kicked out of them in the last 5.5 years, and they just have nothing left to give. They have to go to this slave job every day and deal with very angry, disgruntled customers because people are being ripped off. Who do you think is going to bear the brunt of that? Not the fuckers that own the companies, that own the corporations. No, it's going to be the clerks, the people in the front lines, in the trenches. They're going to get the verbal abuse. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They're just there. They have to pay to live. They have to work as, you know, for minimum wage probably, to take a shitload of abuse. I mean, my friend would never be abusive, but he will be disgruntled, he will be angry, and that's an energy, and that energy will impact the clerk. Of course it will. Of course it will. It's all of it is domino effects. One thing affects another, because everything is connected. We know this. Everything is connected to everything else, right? And the choreography, the poisonous, evil choreography affects all aspects and has turned the Garden of Eden into one horrific hell realm. And it's telling us that we're the fault. It's us. We're the problem. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for today. I'm sure that I have more to say about this, because it's all becoming more and more clear to me what's been going on here and what is going on. It really, really is. And I will be talking about that in my videos, because I'm dealing with the fallout of this type of energy, this type of bizarre, weird behavior that's hurtful and confusing and chaotic and distorting. And I have been clicking on various YouTube videos and just coming to the conclusion that no, you're not answering that question, and no, and oh, I see, so maybe it's gatekeeping. A lot of it is gatekeeping. A lot of it is what some of you might refer to as controlled opposition, in the sense that it's choreographed not to really give you the real truth and the real answers that you need to identify what's going on here. Evil doesn't want to be seen. It's very good at what it does. It's a gaslighter, and it's a liar, and it's a thief, and it poisons, and it hurts, and it harms, and and it has to justify its own existence, and it will not be, it doesn't want to be seen. So all these YouTube videos, you're going to get some good stuff out of it. I find a woman called Lisa Romano quite good in many ways, but she talks about people being below the veil of consciousness when she herself is below the veil of consciousness as well, and she looks way too perfect. See, so you've got to read between the lines. There's a lot of gatekeeping and controlled opposition and orchestration of Machiavellian proportions going on that are designed to mislead you and keep you trapped in dead-end fucking streets and dead-end rabbit holes. Guilt, it's your fault, you're the narcissist, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. Oh, so do your research. It's inevitable, you got to, right? But read between the lines and be aware that the bigger picture here, the enormity of what's taking place here now, is beyond any language to convey, truly, because it's witchcraft, right? It's witchcraft, and you can feel it. You can feel the energy. You may not be able to put it into words, but when you feel all that rage and all that hate and all that grief and all that insane crazy making energy, when you want to smash your head against the wall, know that that was within you, in you, all the time, because you've been severely fucking narcissistically abused. Trauma-based mind control. Right? So you're going to get, not only are you going to get thoughts that aren't yours, but you're going to get fucking emotions, feelings that aren't yours. None of this garbage is ours. We did not make it. We did not create it. We did not foment war. We did not make plastic. The landfills are not there because of us. We've been had. All my love to all of you.